Hey 4-H'ers, we hope you're doing okay today. It's good to be with you again. We're going to use this session for help for our officers. This will substitute for our typical officer training meeting that we have when we meet in person. So we'd like for you to just watch this and see what you need to do specifically. Just remember that you have been selected by your peers, by your classmates, by your fellow 4-H members as a leader. And we want you to take that role seriously. A lot of what transpires in your club will be as a result of the leadership that you provide. You know, you're leading others. You're helping them get to a point where we have a good 4-H member. You are challenging your other 4-H members to be the best that they can be, and we want you to be the best that you can be. Remember that you need to be responsible. You need to be dependable. You need to be organized as much as you can. You know, your fellow 4-H members, those folks in your classroom, they saw some qualities in you that they thought you would be able to help others to help your club. So you need to be able to work with them. You need to be a good speaker. You need to speak up and speak loud and speak out. And so just take those responsibilities seriously. Well, you need to be an active member too. You need to be an example to others. We're encouraging you all to work toward the Golden Eagle Award. So you as well as an officer should take that as a challenge that you receive the Golden Eagle Award as well. You know, if you want the others to be good club members, you need to take that responsibility and just to be a good leader. And we know that you're going to do that. You need to work with the adults that are around you. That could be your parents, getting some ideas from them. Certainly that would be your teacher leader. Certainly in this virtual world that we're in this year, your teacher is going to be your main contact, and then they're going to have contact back to the Miss Susie and Samantha at the Extension office and our 4-H agent that'll be with us soon. So you want to work with them. And then if you've got some specific questions, you've got the information where you can contact the 4-H office and we can help you make that happen as well. Be patient with other 4-H members. Be patient with yourself. You're not going to know all the answers, and that's okay. 4-H motto is to learn by doing. And by taking this leadership role, you are learning how to be a leader. You're learning how to lead others. And that's a lot of what we do in 4-H. So we want to encourage you in that way. Just be patient with others. Be patient with yourself. And certainly be fair. Try to involve as many people and really everybody throughout the year in your club meetings. The decisions that are made, the opportunities for them to take part in the club meeting and speak up and have a role, and just encourage you in that. And make it fun. You know, 4-H is an opportunity for you to learn about yourself, specifically as a leader, to learn how to lead others. And we want you to have a good time with that. And, you know, there may be times where you just laugh out loud, and that's okay. But just have a good time and learn as you go through the process. So let's talk about some specific things that we need to do. Certainly as a leader, our role is getting ready for the meeting. So you have a set of officers. You have a president, a vice president, a secretary, a service chairman. Our clubs that are 4th and 5th grade, you also have a song leader. 6th grade clubs, you do not have a song leader. So as I talk through, find your specific role, find the things that are there for you to do, and you need to be prepared a few minutes before that planned meeting, a few days before that planned meeting. Y'all need to get together, get your information together, work on your outline sheets for your meeting. Teachers will give you some time to do that, and just you take the responsibility and say, just talk to your teacher and say, hey, it's time for us to get ready for our meeting. We're going to have it Friday. Can we have some time on Wednesday to work toward and make some plans for that? So you take the initiative in that. That's what a good leader does. Specifically for your jobs, each of you have got some handouts that have been given to you. President, vice president, your major role is just to make sure that our meeting outline sheet is planned. Everything is complete on it. And then as you look at that planning, you will see you have some specific areas where you are going to lead the different parts of the program. So specifically for the president, Vice President, you've got these roles. We need to have somebody to have a thought for the day. We need to have somebody to lead the pledges, the American Pledge and the 4-H Pledge. We need to have 5 people that can share something that they've done, either their 4-H projects, their project folder at the meeting. They're telling us things they have done. They're showing us something they have made related to that. So your job is to make sure all of these roles are complete in our meeting. You're ready to present those things to us. You're prepared for that. Everybody knows what their role is. Don't select somebody to do the pledge but not tell them. They need to be prepared so they know when you call on them to come up and lead the 4-H pledge, they should come to the front, ask everybody to stand and lead that. So communication is very important. Planning is very important. But making sure everybody understands what their role is. Then the day of the meeting, you are the ones who will present the different things that are going on. So let's look at that meeting outline sheet again. 4th and 5th graders, you should have a blue sheet. 6th graders, you've got a yellow sheet. What's the difference? The 6th grade, you simply do not have a song leader. So on your outline sheet here, it says the president starts out the meeting. The president would simply say, this 4-H meeting will please come to order. The pledge to the American flag will be led by, you see there's a blank there. Somebody's name should be there. They should already know, I'm going to lead the American pledge. And then the 4-H pledge will be led by the same. Their name should be there. So you will call them. They should come up to the front of the room. They should ask everybody to stand and say, we're going to have the American pledge. And then whoever's leading the American pledge would simply stand and begin to get to the American flag, address the American flag, and encourage everybody to say the pledge with them. The same for the 4-H pledge. Now, one thing significant about the 4-H pledge, when we do it, we do not have to address the flag. Address meaning look directly at the flag. You may not have a 4-H flag, and that's okay. We simply do the 4-H pledge. You have some handouts there in your room, in your packet. Most of you have a sign in your room with the 4-H pledge on it. If you don't have one of those, get your teacher to send us an email and we'll send you one of those. But it's got the pledge there. I pledge my head to greater thinking, pledge my heart to greater loyalty. I pledge my hands to larger service. I pledge my health to better living. And you can use those motions and see how that's doing. I think I messed that up. Did you catch that? I pledge my head to clearer thinking, not greater thinking. So there's a point there. Know how to say that. Know how to do that. We're going to have a model meeting for you that will follow this video. And it'll let you see some 4-Hers doing that and give you an example. Most of you have seen that before, 4th grade. All that will be new to you, but we're learning by doing. So all that's in good shape, okay? So the president introducing, getting us started. Then the vice president is going to have somebody to have a thought for the day for us. A thought just to get us thinking, a thought that's just a positive word of encouragement. You have been given a thought for the day sheet if you need some ideas for that. Certainly other ideas, a simple poem, something you might bring from home would be fine for that. But again, have somebody ready. They know that they're going to share a thought for the day. They've already got that ready, and that just keeps the flow of the meeting going. Then our president is going to ask our secretary, just put in their name. We'll now read the minutes of the last meeting, and we'll talk about the secretary duties, what you need to do for that. Then after they get finished, they're going to ask, are there any corrections or are there any additions to the minutes of the meeting? That would give other club members a chance to say, hey, we had the poster contest last time. The secretary left that out. Our secretary's not going to do that, but gives them a chance to correct any minutes that are there. What are the minutes? They're just a record of the meeting that we've just conducted. So the president's going to approve the minutes that have been read. Then you'll see, Vice President, it's time for you to come back and introduce the Service Learning Chairman to give a report about what your Service Learning project was about. The Service Learning Chairman will come up. They will present their information about the project that's been completed. And then the vice president will say, our song leader will come up and lead us in a song. This time the song leader just comes up and says, this is what we're going to sing today. Everybody join in. And it's a good time just to have a good positive feeling about our meeting as we have a song. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So they present that, and then our vice president again introduces those folks who are sharing a talk or sharing a demonstration from their project material. And there will be up to 5 people that can do that at each meeting. So they'll just list their names. Again, these folks need to know ahead of time so that they can be prepared, so they can come up and share something they've done in their project folder. Okay? So ideally, something they've done, an activity they've completed, if they can show that and kind of demonstrate how to do that, maybe building a birdhouse, maybe showing some information about their particular pet, some pictures of their pet. That makes it a little bit more exciting. Okay? And then the last thing the president does is just turn the meeting over to the 4-H agents. I guess this year the 4-H agents won't necessarily be there, but they could say now we've got a video presentation from our 4-H agents, and or if you're doing a live virtual meeting, they can turn it over to them for information from the 4-H office. So this president and vice president, this is your key, your outline form for the meeting. Follow it, have it completed before the meeting, be ready, make sure everybody knows what they need to do, have their names in place. And then when they are introduced, they simply come up with you to the front of the room. They share the information that they've got to share in relation to completing the outline sheet. Again, 6th grade, you do not have a song leader, so your outline is a little bit different. We've just left off the song leader portion of that. So president and vice president, again, be responsible, be prepared. When you come up and present, speak loud so everyone can hear you, so everybody's ready to go in relation to what you want them to do to have our meeting to flow. We want it to flow. We want everybody to be ready when their time has come. Secretary specifically, what do you need to do? You need to keep up with your secretary's book. Okay? Make sure you are ready to go at the meeting. You have a secretary's book. Basically, there's a place in there where you can list everyone's name. You can list what their activities they do through the year. You can list when they participate in the different activities that are going on. Okay? So you might borrow the teacher's roll and get that together. And then each month, we want for you to complete a record of just what happens in the meeting. So you've got some pages here for each month. Our October meeting, the date of the meeting, where the meeting took place, what happened at that meeting. Mrs. Jones' 4-H Club met at Sevierville Intermediate School on October the 13th. We got introduced to the different activities that are going to be involved this year. Everyone got a newsletter. The upcoming activities include and list those things. We've selected our officers for the year. They are President, Vice President, Secretary, list their names. So you're just sharing information about what happened in that club meeting. Then you will want to be prepared when our officers call on you. President's going to say at the meeting, our secretary will now come and read the minutes of our last meeting. What are you going to read? You're going to read what you have written down as to what transpired at that meeting. So what does that mean? That means before the meeting, you need to take time to list those activities so you'll have your minutes ready to read. Okay? So again, this information sheet that you've received, it has some detail here specifically as to what you want to include. Basically, a record of what you did at your meeting. We would encourage you to write that in there as neat and nice as you can. At the end of the year, you may have an opportunity to turn in that secretary book for a Secretary of the Year award. And that would be based on the completeness of your records. That would be based on the neatness of your records. So let me encourage you, Secretary, in that. to be ready, to be prepared for that at your meeting. Then at the end of the book, there's a summary sheet at the end of the year where you can just list some of those activities, the numbers of folks who participated in each month's activity. And again, at that roster sheet at the very beginning, you've got a place to list the different activities that the 4-H members have participated in, be that the speech activity, the poster, or those different things we're going to do through the year. So, president, vice president, plan, get ready, introduce, secretary, keep records, have those ready to share with us at our meeting. A song leader, just have us a song to sing, something that's appropriate. If you want to pull something up on the internet, that's fine, as long as it's okay with your teachers. It could be a fun song, it could be a patriotic song. Announce what that song is to everybody. Sometimes folks may not know the words to the song. Your job is not to sing a solo, and this is not to be a joke time where you get up and act silly, but have a song, let everybody enjoy that song. The song doesn't need to go on for 4 or 5 minutes, so short, sweet, to the point, so that we can just enjoy a song, and folks know what that is and know ahead of time so we can plan and make that happen. Service chairman, your job is to make sure we have a service project. Okay? So, what is a service project? A service project is where we as a group, as our 4-H group, we help our community. We find a need in our community. We decide as a group that we're going to work to make something happen. And each month, we're planning to give you some ideas of some things that you can do here locally in our community. Now, it's nice to raise money to save the whales that are endangered, or the dolphins that are endangered, or a forest somewhere else. But we want you to try to identify some local things that can be done. Like help with our local food ministry. Do a cleanup project at your school. Help with something that Keep Sevier Beautiful is doing here in our community. Help with our local coats project with the Smoky Mountain Area Rescue Ministry. You could collect some items that could go to our local clinics. The Smoky Mountain Area Rescue Ministry, the Mountain Hope Good Shepherd Clinic has some projects where you could collect some dental items. You could help our local Humane Society with some items, some pet toys, some pet supplies, some cleanup supplies that could be used at our local Humane Society. So we'll be giving you some ideas. You may think of some ideas on your own through other clubs, through a church activities, through some things that you're aware of, the Operation Christmas Child boxes that many churches do. Your club might want to collect and do 2 or 3 of those, and that would certainly be a worthy project. The first project that we've talked about is our tuna project, which helps our local food ministry. You've heard the message from Mr. Jim Davis over there, how that tuna is used in our community to help our neighbors who have food needs. It's not going to totally feed people, but it's going to supplement some food that they need. All of us will have people in our school, families in our schools who receive that help directly, either through the Sevier County Food Ministry in Sevierville or through Cross Ministries there in Seymour. So this tuna project is our first project we've encouraged you to participate in, and we look forward to receiving those tuna donations to go to help our local folks with some food needs. So, what do you need to do for the meeting? For the meeting, you need to be prepared to tell what we did. Okay? Our club collected 72 cans of tuna and $13. We had 14 of our members participate in that project. We discovered that there are some food needs and we can make a difference in our community, and this is what we have accomplished this time. That donation has been turned into the 4-H office, and they're going to get that to the local food ministry. You might want to take a picture of your group. What all has been collected to that. Okay? You will have a record sheet, you should have received that, where you just tell us what you have done, what the project was you completed it, when did you do it, what happened, who was involved. Maybe you had some parents that helped you out. students, how many of them participated. So you'll have a record sheet for each of your projects that you do, and hopefully at the end of the year you may be able to collect those together and maybe turn those into the 4-H office, and there might be some awards there related to the service learning projects that you have done. So collectively, collect one of these with each month, fill it out, maybe put some pictures with it of what you have done and how you've worked on a service project. So, can all that take place the day of the meeting? No, this is something that needs to be done all month long. So we're getting ready for our November meeting. We need to complete that activity, have it completed so that you can give a report on it as to what transpires. Again, there'll be a place where you will be asked to give a report related to what has transpired in your meeting. Okay? So if you'll use this outline sheet, President, Vice President, fill it out. Everybody's informed about what they're to do, where they are, ready to go. Share the information that's there so that they can be introduced. The folks can come up and share the information that they have. One thing I do need to cover a little bit more for our Vice President, these demonstrations and project reports, introduce them individually, have them to come up. Johnny, come up. He's going to talk to us about the dog project. Sally, come up. She's going to talk to us about the food project. They would come up and share the information that they have. And that way you will have a complete meeting. If you use the outline sheets, if you use the information that we have here, and again, if you will look for, in a few days, we're going to have posted a mock 4-H meeting for you. So you can kind of see how that flows. Those of you 5th or 6th grade, you've been in meetings before. You know what a good one looks like. You know what a bad one looks like. What's your goal this year? Have the best 4-H meeting that you can possibly have. 4th graders, you haven't necessarily seen a meeting yet, so you might look at that meeting that we're going to post so you can see what each role is during that meeting, how that should kind of look like during your meeting, and that'll help you work toward having some good meetings. So again, officers, set a goal this year to be the best officer you can be. Set a goal to be an example to your other club members that we are going to have the best club that we can be. One of those goals should be we're all going to work toward that Golden Eagle Award, and I'm going to be an example to you to see how you can make that happen. So we look forward to hearing good things about what you're doing in your club meetings, your service projects. Secretary's doing a great job. Leaders, your President, Vice President, providing the leadership that you need. Certainly our song leaders having a song. Got any questions? Let us know here at the 4-H office. Your teachers are there. They can assist you with that. And we just look forward to hearing great things that you're doing this year in 4-H. Just because we're virtual doesn't mean great things can't happen. We look forward to hearing about those things.